feed me this way. Human, my bowl is full of kibble, but I need fresh food. So feed me fresh butternut box.
At Butternut Box, we believe dogs deserve fresh food. So we use human quality meat and veg that you can see and say, taste tested by us and served straight from the fridge. Fetch 25% off your first 2 boxes at butternutbox.com.
Ah, the great British summer. Lovely. Soak in every sunny moment. Oh, check you out. Harry Brompton's iced tea. Very fancy. You know that's going to be good. Unfortunately, summer isn't always as reliable. Keep it together, nothing's going to ruin your day. At least you can rely on the Harry Bromptons. Oh, she didn't see that coming. British brewed and infused with real fruit. Harry Brompton's iced tea is reliably refreshing, whatever the weather.
History moves at my pace.
Clearly, you haven't been watching us. We're breaking records at speed, like most goals scored in the tournament and most goals scored in the group stage. And we've already made history by qualifying. You know what that means?
The UEFA Women's Euro 2025. Watch on ITVX.
So scared. One of them says, remove your clothes. Another man, just remove my jacket and my vest and my bra. The moment they push me in the bed, then I wanted to scream. And then one of them hold my mouth like this. I decided to keep quiet. And then almost 2 hours. One after the other, one after the other, one after the other. I was thinking so many things. Like, what if they kill me? What if maybe something worse than things happened?
People we speak to will always tell us, it's bigger than you think, it's worse than you think.
There are British soldiers who are currently sleeping with 13, 14, 15-year-old girls.
Yes, it is happening.
These are British soldiers from a British Army base. The British need to take responsibility. An investigation is needed.
Agnes Wanjiru Wanjiku disappeared from a hotel in the Kenyan town of Nanyuki.
Witnesses said they saw Agnes Wanjiru leaving a hotel with a British soldier.
The UK Minister for Armed Forces denied knowledge of cover-up attempts by senior military officers.
He said, I've killed it. I said, what do you mean you've killed it? Show me. Everyone in our army base now. All the senior commanders there, everyone. We're told to keep my mouth shut. Yeah, I mean, we covered it up.
A 3.5-hour drive north of Nairobi, right on the equator, sits the Kenyan town of Nanyuki.
Nanuki would compare to a small provincial county town that you would find in Britain. It happens to sit in the lee of Mount Kenya. It happens to sit in an area of outstanding natural beauty. But it happens to have in its midst the British Army Training Centre, British Army Barracks. It's a large expanse of land on which essential live firing training is conducted. Live firing is critical to training soldiers to a level that they can deploy to Iraq, Afghanistan, or wherever they may deploy to. And it's done here in Kenya with the agreement of the Kenyan government.
The British Army Training Unit in Kenya is known locally as Batak. It's one of the biggest UK bases outside of Europe.
The British Army has been present in Nanyuki since before independence. They do have a permanent base called Nyati Barracks. There are two groups of soldiers at the base. On one hand, we have senior officers that have been permanently based there for 3-4 years. Then we have the soldiers that come in for training. Some as young as 17, 18. On the weekdays, they're not allowed to go out clubbing. But on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, they're free to go and party. There's no shortage of clubs. In Nanyuki, it's one big party scene. And it can get rowdy.
Here in Nanyuki, British guys, they like to party. If they fall into a hotel, the manager knows that it is such a good day. Yeah, they know how to spend. When a British army come here in Nanyuki, the economy rises.
I will describe the relationship between Nanyuki and British soldiers as a toxic love-hate relationship. They are very rowdy, they tend to get violent. Police are involved, but there's not much that they do. Usually it all gets swept under the carpet. Also, Nanyuki has come to be associated very much with prostitution. And this is directly because of the British soldiers being there. They're the biggest customers of transactional sex. But we've also heard stories of physical and sexual abuse by British soldiers. It's not even a secret anymore.
In 2022, the army banned its soldiers from paying for sex while serving abroad. But filmed undercover, Batak soldiers told a different story.
All they want is money on it. Yeah. Right, okay. So some do being rich white man. Yeah, tell me. That's all they'll call us. The 18 to 23-year-old lads, no bills, most of the pays their phone and car, and they'll have loads of money. You're going to spend it on you.
So they spend it on the women?
Yes.
How much is it for sex?
£10 for sex. It's nothing.
For what?
Sex. Complete job.
Did you talk to them about it and try and tell them not to do it?
Yeah, but you can't. I'm talking to a brick wall. Young lads in a fucking foreign country, loads of money, Who's going to stop them? I'm not going to stop them. I'm letting them fight themselves. Boys will be boys.
My first time as a sex worker was with a British soldier here at Nanyuki. These soldiers, some will ask for anal sex, others will ask for oral. And of course, when they ask for extra, they give you an option of extra money. But some can be arrogant and tell you to your face that, after all, you're here looking for money. I'm here with a lot of money and I can give you. And so this is what I want for you to get the money. I know of a girl. They agreed on the amount. After they went to the room is when something changed. She was just told to lie down, and he just urinated on her. It was like, I wasn't interested in sex anyway, I was just here to have fun. So he finished it, walked out, and left the girl. Age of sex work depends on an individual. Mine, I was around 17, just after high school, but I found others come very young. Around 13, 14, 15.
In Nanyuki?
Yes, in Nanyuki.
Would you say there are British soldiers who are currently sleeping with 13, 14, 15-year-old girls?
Yes, it is happening.
Ni hawa baba Tux. Sasa wakanianza kuniambia wewe uko mrembo sijui nini. Sasa wakaanza kuniongelesha sijui nini ile mambo yao. Sasa wakaniambia tunaweza enda mahali. Ndio sikuwa na option nyingine, hakuna kitu yenye nitalipa na nyumba, chakula. Sasa wakaanza kunilamba kuni nini, ingine na nini huku, mkuu, mdomo, wanaanza kunipapasa huku. Sasa nimekaza, nikastukia tu watu wanaanza kuitana. Huyo mtu alikuwa mmoja, kustukia wako 7. So wakaanza kunitumia tu hivyo. Huyo akamaliza kuingia na akakuja. Sasa unaona.
Kuna mtu ungepigia simu akukujie?
Hakuna, njoo hadi simu walinyang'anya. So huyo jamaa mwenye alipeleka huko nje alikuwa na simu yangu. Nilishare na rafiki yangu fulani. Sasa akaniambia, akanipea idea, akaniambia ni nani? Kamwambia Batu. Yao. Akaniambia we hakuna penye unaweza enda. Sasa nikasema aje sasa. Kwani hawezi shikwa ama ni aje? Sasa wakaniambia so naona wako na pesa, sasa nawe una utaenda kusaidika aje.
In 2006, the British Army investigated more than 2,000 cases of alleged rape and sexual abuse by serving soldiers in Kenya. Not a single soldier was prosecuted. The MOD said it was due to a lack of corroborative evidence.
The moment British soldiers do whatever they do in town, beat up a woman, rape a woman, at the end of the night, these soldiers are going to go back to Nyati barracks. That makes it harder for Kenyan police to investigate. Of course, the authorities in the UK know what's happening and what has been happening. We've had a case that has been going on for the last 12 years, a case that has almost derailed the UK-Kenya military pact. The cover-up begins from the hotel and goes all the way up to the highest point of the British military.
Is that I've killed him. What do you mean you've killed her? Show me. Just said I'll never forgive you for this. Never.
So, in terms of salary, you were thinking...
I was hoping you would tell me what you were thinking.
I wouldn't dream of it. After you.
Honestly, I want you to go first.
No, you go first.
No, you must go first.
Please.
With Indeed, set salary expectations from the start and skip the awkward chat.
Sign up for a new club card?
No.
No. Oh, couldn't resist. Couldn't resist, Dave.
Do you have a club card? We're all right.
Off again. Thank you, Club Card!
Thank you, Club Card.
Thank you, Club Card.
If I hear club...
Card.
Club card accepted.
At San Pellegrino, when life gives us these fruits, we do what we do best. So, what will you do? Life is juicier with San Pellegrino.
Fed up of germy cages in your toilet? Harpic Hygienic and Fresh Stickers. No germy cage and no plastic applicator. Flush, press, count to 5 and it's done. Is it magic? No, it's Harpic. Get a fragrance boost with every flush. Harpic Hygienic and Fresh Stickers.
Welcome to Genius Game. Alliances will be built and broken.
You're not letting me talk.
Friendships forged and destroyed.
Are they being genuine or are they not?
It's brutal, and I can't wait.
Brand new Genius Game. Available now on ITVX.
Yeah, we spent the majority of the time out in the open, out in the elements. Like, we slept in a dry riverbed for probably a week and a bit. Tensions are high, wasn't easy by any means.
British soldiers are not allowed to talk to the media. This man, Soldier Z, has now left the army. He spoke about what happened in Kenya on condition we disguise his identity.
The night in question, we arrived at the hotel, it's quite a few of us. We all arrived at pretty much at the same time. We booked about 7 rooms, and they just wanted a passport or someone for each of the rooms.
The place was packed. And there were around 100 guys, but 2 guys. They wanted to party all night because I think the following morning or the day after, they were supposed to go back to Haiti.
I saw 2 lorries come in with the British boys. Then one of them asked me, "We have the ladies." I said, "Can you give me a minute?" I called some friends because I'm a DJ. I make so many friends with ladies. Called some friends. I told them, "I've got so many boys in town." Actually, we normally call them the boys. So they came. The ladies came.
When I left to Lions Court, that is when I met with Susan. Then Agnes joined me. The place was full, the place was lively. There was a lot of British guys. They like drinking and they like ladies. Those 2 things.
Tuliambiana twende juu Agnes hakuwa mzuri kwa mfuko. Yaani juu alikuwa amezalishwa na ameachwa, so alikuwa amesema aende hustle. Ndio tukaambiana twende out. Although hiyo out ilikuwa tu ni kuenjoy. Agnes akaenda dance floor, ndio akaona huyo mzungu.
The last time I saw her, she was seated with 2 British soldiers and she was in the middle and she was drinking Guinness. And I was like, my friend, can you just get me some water? And she started smiling and she started cracking jokes. She's very lively.
Mi venye niliona Agnes ameenda kwa room around saa 8, saa 9, saa 10 inaelekea. So sikukaa huko tena. Mi nika decide tu nienda nyumbani.
I'm on the bar, I was still very busy. It's about 5, 6 of us all just walked back to the rooms. We stayed till the morning, woke up in the morning, packed our bags, got a taxi, went back to camp.
Na anatupatia wokovu namna gani? Kwa sababu ya kushinda minyororo ya mauti, kwa sababu ya kushinda giza au usiku wa mauti.
In the morning when we were going church, I met with Agnes' sister. She was standing and she was like, Flo, where is Agnes? And I was like, didn't she come back? She told me no, she did not. I told her just wait for her. It is still early. Maybe she's still partying. She will still come.
Agnes alikuwa sister yangu ule mdogo. Tumeachana na miaka mingi. Na mimi ndio mama yake kumlea. Alikuwa mtu wa kufurahi, alikuwa anapenda watu wao na watu wa nje. Hata Chiro alikuwa amependwa na watu, hata sijawahi ona mtu kwetu amependwa na watu hivyo.
On Monday, we went to Lions Court because that is where we left Agnes. Our minds were still, maybe she went to a room with a mzungu and she's still maybe in the cottages. So we should go and look for her. They told us she was not there.
Tukakaa Tuesday, tukamtafuta, hata tukaenda huko Lions Court nikiwa na mtoto, tukaambiwa hakuna mtu kama huyo. Hapa vyenye alikuwa anapenda mtoto wake, anaweza jificha akiwa amependa huyo mtoto? Hapana. Sasa hiyo wiki imeisha hivyo, hii ingine hivyo, mwezi imeisha na ingine. Sasa vyenye huyo msichana alikuja akasema walikuwa na yeye na hapatikani, ndio sasa nilianza kuona gai.
The body was discovered in a septic tank, in the hotel's septic tank, by a gardener who was just going around doing their work. The body was naked, apart from the bra. I called the police and they came. When she was removed, some of the tips of the fingers were broken and they were left in the septic tank. It was not a good scene.
We had to go to the mortuary so that we can confirm it is Agnes. And the only thing that made me know that it is Agnes, it is the hairstyle. She was a good friend. She was my neighbor. She was like a sister to me. That hit me. That hit me. Yeah. She had a baby, and they just ended up killing her.
Alikuwa amedungwa kisu hapa. Sijui ni pande hii ama ni pande hii, lakini alikuwa amedungwa. Alikuwa amekatwa, sijui ni kukatwa ama ni nini, sijui hii kwenye ilienda, hakukuwa na hii mikono yote.
For 2 months, her body was in a septic tank, a hotel septic tank. So the guy who murdered Agnes, it really shows that he's very inhumane. Because why would you dispose someone's body in a septic tank? Because you want it to decompose, and maybe no one will charge you because no one is to be blamed.
Me and Susan, we went to the police station and we presented our statements.
Na huyo mzungu mmoja walienda room na mzungu. After that hatukuonana tena mpaka leo.
The first thing that the investigating officer did was ask for the names of the soldiers who had stayed at the hotel the night Agnes disappeared. There was a list of soldiers that were wanted for questioning. The police believed that they could give more insight as to what had transpired. The police, they did go to Nyati Barracks, where they requested to interview these soldiers. But the response they got was that the soldiers have already left the country. They were done with their training and they've flown back to the UK.
The British government is assisting Kenyan authorities investigating allegations that British soldiers murdered a 21-year-old Kenyan woman in the town, which is used by the British Army as a training base for soldiers before deployment to Afghanistan.
It was a while after I got back from Kenya. It came on Sky News that a body had been found in Lane's Court. I think it was in a cookhouse when it first came off. I remember everyone watching it. First instance of the rumour started, like, who did it? Like, we lived together 24/7. He's always in with the lads who'd been on tour with us. One of the boys,
The police in Kenya, they did write to the Attorney General and requested that they question the soldiers, even though not as suspects, as witnesses. They requested to question them via, video call. But that was not fulfilled, either by the Attorney General or the UK. Somebody in between really put a barrier to that, put a stop to that.
It is inevitable that crimes of a serious nature will find their way through the chain of command fairly rapidly up to Land Command and into the MOD. Information pertaining to crimes conducted by soldiers outside the British Isles would end up being conveyed to the Foreign Office, yeah.
The British Army took no further steps to investigate Agnes's murder. Soldier Z was considered a key witness, but not questioned about what happened at the hotel that night.
I've never been interviewed by the Kenyan police. I've not been contacted personally by anyone from the army.
Hapana. No. Juu hatujai meet another British Army wakituhoji.
Tangu Agnes afariki, kuna mtu yoyote ya serikali ya wazungu ya Uingereza wamekuongelesha ama wamekupatia habari yoyote kuhusu kifo ya Agnes?
Kuna mtu hata mmoja amewahi
ama wa British Army, kuna wale wamewahi kuja kukuongelesha kukuambia mambo ya Agnes?
Everything came to a standstill. No investigation was happening because what they needed to do had been had been blocked by the authorities. So everything stopped.
I was in Kenya looking at another story, but something about the Agnes story kind of just twigged in my mind. It was just completely unresolved. I said, we need to look at this. There's obviously huge implications there for the British Army. We got in touch with one of the police officers who was on the original investigation, who basically thought that the British soldiers who were suspects had got away with murder. He showed us a number of documents. We saw the hotel logs for the night of the murder, which had the names of all the soldiers who were there that night. Witness statements from Agnes's friends. And we also saw a number of letters that were exchanged between Kenyan police and the British Army. The British Army knew full well in 2012 that the prime suspects for Agnes's murder was a British soldier or soldiers.
Even though the MOD knew how serious the allegations were, they left it to Kenyan police to investigate. But many soldiers from the regiment believed they knew who'd killed Agnes.
For a long time, it was a running joke. We'd be going away on, like, for the weekend and we'd get our usual stand-down brief and, you know, even like Sergeant Majors was like, okay, no strangling people this weekend. It was a joke, obviously, because it was a bit weird.
Though the story in the battalion was that Agnes was strangled, the truth was even more shocking.
We had the post-mortem results from the pathologist. What this found was that Agnes had been stabbed, that the stab wound to her side may not have been enough to kill her, and she may still have been alive when she was put into the tank. We saw the documents in 2016, and then in 2019, it took a few more years, and then finally, Agnes had an inquest. And at this inquest, the Kenyan judge heard all the evidence, and she determined that on the balance of probabilities, that Agnes had indeed been murdered, that her murder was likely to have been carried out by a British soldier or soldiers. And so at that point, we decided to find every soldier who'd ever been mentioned. And what I didn't realise was how quickly that we'd make a major breakthrough.
The people we love spreading germs. Unlike a cloth, a Dettol wipe helps stop germs spreading from surface to surface. And they're biodegradable too. Dettol. Spread the love, not the germs.
I'm on my way.
All right, Ted.
You took your time.
With Aviva Car Insurance, if your car isn't drivable after an accident, we'll still get you to your destination. Making it click, it takes Aviva.
With Amex, you do summer differently. Heat feels like this. Sparks fly here. Stargazing looks like this. And love feels like this. From special access and perks to paying for your holiday with points, you can enjoy what you love about summer even more with Amex. That's the powerful backing of American Express.
No sign of him yet, Money Super 7? I had such high hopes for you tonight.
High hopes? That's him!
Go, go, go. Let's give him what he deserves.
Your rewards from Money Supermarket. You're gonna love them. Welcome to the Super Save Club.
She's your next. Break a leg.
See how much you could save today with Money Supermarket.
History moves at my pace.
Clearly, you haven't been watching us. We're breaking records at speed, like most goals scored in the tournament and most goals scored in the group stage. And we've already made history by qualifying. You know what that means?
The UEFA Women's Euro 2025. Watch on ITVX.
Oh, yeah. You all right? Telephone number if you want to talk to Manchester today, 0161 228 2255.
It was sort of a quiet summer. It's often a time when, as a journalist, you're sort of looking around things to do. And David, my colleague, had these documents and, you know, he said, do you fancy looking into this? So the original 2012 investigation, the sense that we got was it wasn't something that anyone in power in either Kenya or the UK wanted to progress. Basically, it was a lot easier for everyone if this just quietly went away. But we had these names for these soldiers who had checked into the hotel on the night. So we just sort of divided that list of names and tried to find them. The regiment is based in Lancashire, so we're sort of driving all over the northwest. We've managed to find addresses for some of them, but you don't know how up to date they are, and some were just complete dead ends. The last name on my list, I knocked on the door, there was no answer. Knocked again and still no answer. So, you know, I pushed a note through the door and said, you know, I called today, I was just hoping to speak to you about your time in the British Army. And you sort of never really expect to hear anything in these situations. And then I got this phone call from a number that I didn't recognise. It was the soldier, and we spoke for close to 2 hours. And he was really frank and really honest. He had been there on the night. He'd heard the rumours about what had happened and the fact that someone from the regiment was said to be responsible, but he didn't know that much in terms of who that was. Then he provided names of people he thought knew a bit more about it.
So I went off to Kenya to investigate in Nanyuki. We had no direct evidence pinning a soldier to Agnes's murder. It was all still circumstantial. These regiments, there is a code of silence. Soldiers will protect each other because, you know, and let's face it, they're going to risk their lives in foreign countries. You know, a lot of them at the time had been to Afghanistan, you know, where they might have seen friends killed. There was nothing more important than your brother beside you. You were trained to think that. So if there was anything that happened that was untoward or broke the rules or whatever, there was a code of silence. And also there was the question of, obviously, you know, British soldiers were suspected. It doesn't mean they did it.
Social media was really helpful in this. I did get several people who came forward to help, and every person I spoke to, I would ask them who else to speak to, and just built up this list of dozens and dozens and dozens of names. I'd say over 100 names. We then started to get the same 2 names again and again and again, and the name of someone else who had been involved. He was described as an accomplice. The thing that I was told most frequently was that he had helped move the body.
Believing they have enough evidence, they approach the alleged accomplice.
We go to the accomplice's house. It's me and a photographer. And then basically I knocked it and he came to the door.
Hello?
Hiya, my name's Hannah. I'm a journalist with the Sunday Times.
And?
Have you got 5 minutes to talk about what happened in Nanyuki?
No, long time ago that.
No.
No.
A couple of people have mentioned your name.
Who?
I can't say who.
I can't say anything.
I mean, we know that it wasn't you that was really responsible.
Not responsible for anything. Listen, I told the proper people, and I got told to get to fuck.
Who did you tell?
Everyone. Everyone knew. Everyone.
But like the police or the senior officers or...
All the senior ones know. They all know.
And they know the name of the guy that...
They all know. I told them personally.
And then Hannah sent me it, and I listened to the whole thing. It was just granular, step-by-step detail, stuff that wasn't in the public domain, stuff that only somebody who'd been to that hotel and seen where the septic tank is would have known about.
We all went out.
Yeah.
A night out in Lions Court. And he came back into the pub crying, saying, help me, help me. I said, why, what do you mean, help you? He said, I've killed her. I said, what do you mean you've killed her? Show me.
Oh, God,
He
really?
took me to the tank and lifted it up, and I looked in. I just remember seeing her in there. My heart sank, and I just said, I'll never forgive you for this. Never.
This soldier saw Agnes's body. A direct eyewitness, not as we had thought, an accomplice.
I told enough people something to be done. All the senior command that were there, everyone.
There were conversations had where the Ministry of Defence would have liked it if we would have held off from running the story. The idea that we'd have that information and then in turn not run it, you know, it was unthinkable, so we ran it.
Can Finish tackle these burnt-on stains? And all this mess? Mum doesn't think so. Finish Ultimate Plus gives a deep, intensive clean. It hunts down stains, lifts them, and cuts grease with precision. First time, every time. A superb finish, even on tough challenges. Keep away from children.
Hey girl, I have to tell you about today at the races. It was so much fun. All the girls getting ready together under one roof. We were like...
3 peas in a pod. Holly Doyle rides and she's in great form. The only danger is Storm in a teacup ride and a Ferris wheel. The kids loved every
second, then first. We were right at the rail. The sound when the horses came
thundering past. They were neck and neck. What a day.
4 million memories made every year. The going is good. Search horse racing near me.
New Dove Men Plus Care.
Welcome to the team. Thanks. That's to clean your fingers.
New Dove Men Plus Care helps neutralize odor-causing bacteria that thrive on stress sweat.
Really needs more salt.
Get comfortable with uncomfortable. Upgrade to 72-hour protection with new Dove Men Plus Care.
Hiya. Americano, please. Your house blend. Splash of oat milk.
Are you going to do this every time?
Nescafe Azera Americano.
So you're paying contactless, or...?
Irresistibly smooth barista-style coffee at home.
The city's been through hell. I'm not going to let anything tear us down again.
The Flash doesn't need big fists. He's got a big heart.
You run through fear.
You showed me how to be a better person.
That's a Tuesday for you.
The Flash, Series 7. Available now on ITVX.
It's been described as an open secret, even a joke within the Duke of Lancaster Regiment. What have you personally done to raise the case of this, or what is the latest on that?
We have stood by throughout the process to offer help.
But does the MOD have the name of the soldier who allegedly killed her?
Well, it would be inappropriate to ask about ongoing police investigations.
But is it ongoing? I suppose I'm trying to understand, is this man still serving?
It is a Kenyan lead, this investigation, the Kenyan police. There is no evidence that I have found that there was a cover-up by commanding officers at the time.
After we published, a lot of the reaction was, well, why aren't you naming him? Why are you keeping his identity a secret? Then I had a message saying you might want to see these. And it was screenshots of these Facebook messages. And the post was, if you know, you know. A soldier had returned to the Lions Court Hotel and sort of posed for a picture outside. Someone had commented the word septic tank. The alleged perpetrator himself had posted an emoji of an angel. This was soldiers, and some of whom were still serving, just laughing and joking and making light of this murder. And this just, you know, evidence to us again how widespread this knowledge was. We did have some conversations about whether or not we were going to name who the suspect was. I thought we would see arrests and a trial within a year or two, but within a few months it became pretty clear that that wasn't going to happen.
There was a prime suspect of my aunt's murder. It was a huge breakthrough for us as a family. He's walking free and nothing is being done. He's being protected by the government. That's when we got a lawyer who has been helping us to pursue justice.
Hi, Esther. How are you?
I'm doing great.
And how did things go in court this week?
No updates or no one responded.
We were contacted towards the end of 2021 by Agnes's family. We've done a lot of work in relation to British Army abuses abroad, and the family wanted to know if there were any legal avenues they could pursue in the UK. I think that where the state is implicated in a death, the state then has obligations to investigate that death. And it's quite clear that in this case, that hadn't happened. We're asking the Secretary of State to commence their own investigation. What went wrong? Why did the British Army do nothing when it knew its officers had been implicated in a murder? And has there been a cover-up?
A number of police officers travelled to the UK to question some soldiers. Whom they questioned, we don't know. What they talked about, we don't know. What kind of new evidence they gathered is still something we don't know because it has not been made public.
I got invited to local police station. I was interviewed by the MOD as a witness. They told me that the Kenyan detectives were sat next door and they just asked me questions about that night in Kenya. What I remember, it was there, and then just asked me if Just pleasant.
He came back into the pub crying, saying, "Help me, help me." I said, "Why? What do you mean, help you?" He said, "I've killed her." I said, "What do you mean you've killed her? Show me."
Oh, God,
He took me to the tank and lifted her up, and I looked in. I just remember seeing her in there. My heart sank, and I just said, "I'll never forgive you for this. Never."
Despite a reported confession and witness statements, neither the British nor Kenyan police have so far charged anyone for Agnes's murder. Her family have not been told why, nor been given any update on the case.
It's been 12 years, and a case that is really straightforward hasn't been resolved by the intervention of the media, foreign lawyers, local lawyers, the judiciary. If nothing has happened over 12 years, then I don't think anything will happen.
It's not enough for the British government to keep saying that it's the Kenyan police who are in charge of this investigation. No, that's not enough. I don't think any right-thinking member of the public would expect the British government to sit back and not investigate allegations that a British soldier has murdered an innocent woman in a foreign country.
Agnes's family have been fighting for justice and for something to happen for 12 years. And we're now in 2024, and the same kind of things are going on.
I was so scared. They pushed me in the bed. Then I wanted to scream. And then one of them held my mouth like this. I decided to keep quiet. They fuck your behind, they fuck your mouth. One after the other, one after the other, one after the other. They just do what they want and they go. The next 2 days, I couldn't even urinate. My mouth was so painful. I was thinking so many things. Like, what if they kill me?
I saw a woman who was in fear in this video. I saw a woman who wanted to get out of that room alive. And this is the thing that made me to run in tears, because our life is never secured. I'm not assured to be alive as a sex worker. And this should stop. We need to be protected. We need to make sure that these soldiers are taken to court. And when they violate a woman, a human being, it does not matter whatever their career is, whether they are a sex worker or not. This is a Kenyan who has been violated. They should be brought to justice.
The soldiers hear about Nanyuki before they get there. The phrase that goes around is, what goes on in Nanyuki stays in Nanyuki. And from what we saw, the British Army, certainly the senior leadership, just turn a blind eye.
Something needs to be done, because these are British soldiers on a British base. The British need to take responsibility, and I think an investigation is needed to ensure this kind of violence stops.
Stacey, she's not the age where she's understanding what happened to her mother, and quite distressing for her and traumatic. And so all what she says is she wants justice for her mother, and the question that she always asks is, why is the prime suspect still free while she's suffering?
Deny everything that anybody said. You know, I have nothing to do with it. You know, the rumor was started about me by some lads I've not been in touch with the lads for at least 10 years, if not longer. It's a shock to me. I don't even know what's there. The day they reported, I don't think the horror now is that people are saying that something comes up and practically unspeakable, which is sickening, to be honest.
There was always talk about mistreatment of women and abuse of women by British soldiers, but the Agnes Wanjiru case really, highlighted how bad the situation was. The people we speak to will always tell us, oh, you think she's the only one? You think that's the only case? It's bigger than you think. It's worse than you think.
Senior army people not stop you.
They're doing it. They're the worst. They're the worst ones. The seniors, the sergeants, warrant officers, all the same, fellow sergeants, they will all shit their wives and fuck up, yeah, because it's a break.
I thought you weren't allowed to have
no, we are
dealings with the ladies.
So we are, but we're not, it's really. Take Amsterdam.
LV have always made it simple for me to get great value home insurance.
So I can get cover from just £179. That's got to be good news.
And their 24/7 emergency helpline lets me look after what matters to me.
Because insurance is simple when it's me and LV.
For great value home insurance, get your quote today at lv.com.
Steady. Hurry up!
These Quorn snacks are deliciously high in protein and low in saturated fat. Quorn, so tasty. Why choose the alternative?
Growing up like we do, life isn't obstacle-free.
Y'all need to teach about brotherhood. How did this get so messy so fast?
Welcome to high school, man.
Cleo could be that spark that we are missing.
Getting this glimpse into another world.
Just gotta keep leaning on hope.
All American, available now on ITVX.